In addition to students, staff and professors have also detailed how they have been adjusting to the coronavirus pandemic and how to balance work and personal life. Professor Cliff Brown, a sociology professor here at UNH, explained how he has been dealing with the coronavirus pandemic.
Um, it's been difficult. I've tried to focus on the things that are easy to do, like taking long walks and stuff like that. I when it was warmer, I was able to garden. My partner and I like gardening a lot, and she's also a sociology professor. So, that's another kind of complication is that when we're together, we're it's easy to fall into talking about work because we work in the same department. We teach a lot of the same students and stuff. But gardening, I'd say walking, I play music and so I enjoy that as well. And the weekends have been good, I have to say. I've been trying really hard to unplug during the weekends and not do work stuff.
Roxanne Brown, the receptionist in the undergraduate office in the English department, explained how she and her coworkers have set schedules and times in which they will take breaks in order to prevent overworking.
What we have had to do is just become very religious at saying, okay, we're taking a break for lunch. My day starts at whatever time.
Roxanne recently was sick with a respiratory infection, and she explained how she was quite overwhelmed with work responsibilities while she was recovering from her illness.
I think the worst thing that happened to me was I got sick, not with COVID, but I went down and I went down hard for about 3 weeks, which for me was very difficult because in order for me to get better, I had to stay flat. I had a respiratory infection and I'm like, oh, but I have to check my email, And I realized that I just couldn't because even if I was trying to work through my illness, it wouldn't have been proficient work. You know what I mean? I was running a fever. I was just a mess. It looked like COVID. It sounded like COVID. Everybody thought it was COVID, but it wasn't.
She also mentioned how going outside or going for a walk on the nearby Hampton Beach really helps her clear her mind. She also mentioned how the pandemic has been a really difficult time for many different people, but there's certain ways that we can choose to personally manage this time.
I live in Hampton, so I'm not too far from the ocean. And I have a great deck and a couple of crazy cats. I think the lesson learned here for all of us in this pandemic is even though we can't fix it, we can definitely learn to manage it in our own personal lives.
Finally, Roxanne mentioned how she's in the high-risk age bracket and she's been trying to avoid going out in public.
In the high risk bracket due to my age, and I have asthma, and obviously I have respiratory conditions. And so for me to be out in grocery shopping or in a restaurant or going to a venue for an event or would be detrimental to my own health.
Sue Hertz, English professor here at UNH, also emphasized the importance of going outside. She mentioned how she's had a moment in the last couple of months where she really recognized the little things.
For me, it's just movement. It's just going outside and moving and seeing there's still beauty in the world. I remember last spring, we'd been in lockdown and it was a struggle for all of us. And I went early to one of the local garden centers and just was so delighted to be surrounded by all these gorgeous plants. And it's a reminder that the world still spins and beauty still exists and we will get back to normal. So what I try and do is just find avenues to do that. I mean, I'm an avid cyclist. I walk. I just had a hip replacement, so I'm not doing any cycling right now. But I mean, I still get out and I walk every day. I have a dog. We walk the dog. I'm looking forward to ski season. Just anything to be outside And I always feel better outside anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
even before the pandemic, but I think it's just being outside. And
Professor Hertz explained how coming back to campus is actually quite lonely in the sense that she's not able to see many of her fellow faculty members.
I think the sadness comes when we're at school, because it's such it's just a fraction of what it usually is. I mean, there's a fraction of the students, a fraction of the faculty. There's just not the same energy you get when you have, students locked onto their computers teaching. And then at first it was like my first few weeks back, I couldn't find another faculty member. I was like, where is everybody? And there's just not, the fun part about work, the fun part about going to an office is your colleagues, and your students, and just talking. And it's some of the stuff that happens outside the classroom. It's the brainstorming, and I really missed that.
Although the last couple of months arriving back to the UNH campus have proven to be quite a challenge, the UNH community has come up with ways to make this semester as normal as it possibly can be. Reporting from the UNH campus, my name is Melanie Tem. Thank you for watching.